So it's been a long time. I've been trying to think what I wanted to say when we finally got to this point. And it's just so much more to me than just like trying to get me in trouble. Over the last 5 years, I have worked so hard to get out of the things that I was doing that put me in prison. And for, going back and spending weeks looking at all the messages that went back and forth and how malicious it was. It wasn't I had one day and made one bad decision. She did this for weeks and weeks. I've read the messages. And for her to say the only thing he cares about is this job at the recovery center, and I want to take it from him. I worked so hard to get away from my background, to have a job where I could help people and make a difference and not be another statistic and not end up back in prison or on the streets. And to just think that someone that said they loved me could just say, or even, I could see her saying it, but weeks and weeks of pushing it, messaging him, well, she was at my house, now's the time to do it. I know where his car's at now. Like, I don't understand. I know what it's like to need to get incarcerated. If I wouldn't have went to prison, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have taken the time to get the help that I needed, And I don't think one day in jail is ever going to stop her from doing this to someone else. If it wouldn't have happened the way it would, I might not be here right now. I might be back in prison. I might have ruined my career. I might have lost everything, and no one would have believed me. No one. If it wasn't for the one that turned in the messages and having them documented, no one would have ever known, and I would have been gone. And it's not fair. It's not right that to just try to take someone's life into your hands and throw it away because you had a bad day. I would understand if I treated her poorly, if I put my hands on her, if I was mean to the children, none of that effort. And to have someone just want to hurt me like that, I can't imagine being that broken of a soul to want to hurt someone that bad. What's the worst part is I don't hate her. I just want her to get help. For her, for the kids, for whoever she comes in contact in the future. Because the person who did that, she's not where she needs to be. One thing that I guess it probably doesn't matter because it wasn't reported, but just not even a month ago, she was at a restaurant and ran into my niece and threatened to beat her ass in the middle of the restaurant with her children there, in front of everybody. So whatever gains and progress that she's made, she's not where she needs to be yet. And I hope that you guys can help her do that.
So a couple questions for you, sir. How did you meet Ms. Plumhoff?
We met through my little sister. They were acquaintances.
Okay. I only have a little bit of the police report. How do you know how Ms. Plumhoff came in contact with the person that was incarcerated that you wanted to set you up? You know, she knew that individual?
The way it was explained to me is when me and her got together, she was in a relationship with that person. And when me and her made it official or whatever, she broke it off with him because he's in prison. What is he going to do? All she has to do is not answer the phone. So that was her boyfriend, I guess, up until I had got with her.
Okay. Anything else that you want to say, sir?
I just want to thank the court for whatever it is they're going to do. and hopefully I'll have a peace of mind for a little while, because obviously I'm a mess. Like, I literally moved 3 hours away to not have to worry about running into her at a store or anywhere, you know what I mean? Because of, I don't know. I worked in Nuevo for a little while in one of the recovery centers that was up here, and going through a drive-through, I had a girl let me know that she was still trying to mess with me, and that this was my number and this is where I lived. And so I just don't want to have to worry anymore. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't be crying over what this woman could do to me.
Thank you, sir. All right, the court recognizes that the advisory guidelines in this case would suggest a sentence between 0 and 11 months. The courts can exercise my discretion so that it's consistent with the advisory guidelines, consistent with the plea agreement in this case. It would be the sentence of the court that this defendant served 120 days in the Nuevo County Jail. I'll give her credit for the 1 day that she served so far. I'm going to place her on probation for 2 years. There is a $30 per month probation oversight fee for regular probation, $60 a month for electronic monitoring or tether. There is a $68 state cost assessment, $130 crime victims' rights fund fee, and a $60 DNA fee. Those financial assessments can be paid within 90 days of her release from jail. Ms. Plumhoff, on the one hand, I applaud you for the efforts that you've made. And maybe those efforts will continue after you're out of jail and through probation, and they'll help you change the person that you are. On the other hand, I can't think of anything more vile than what you try to do to that man. Number one, the newest history with addictions, and to try and use that against him. Number two, trying to prevent him from helping other people, trying to engage some other inmate to ruin this man's life. And he's right. If you had any idea how many people come in here with possession of drugs and say, they weren't mine, somebody planted on me, everybody, the police, the prosecutor, the court, we all go, yeah, right. People just don't plant drugs on other people. And that was your plan. As he indicated, it wasn't just a fly-by-night thing, one time, call somebody up, oh no, I forget it. It was time after time, message after message. You actually paid the money, as I understand it, to have this done. I just can't, really words don't express how vile those acts are. And you try to separate the acts from the person, but you're the one that did those. And luckily, this person that you were corresponding with in the jail had integrity and did the right thing and turned you in. But for that, he probably would have been in jail. He probably would have been successful in framing it. And that's inexcusable. I don't care how much he hurts you. So,
Your Honor, if I might,
yeah.
Given Mr. Swanson's comments regarding the client's medical future, and I suppose some of the highlights and some of the good things that you pointed out, and appreciate the court considering those, is it possible to structure some of this jail time weekends due to those circumstances also, this situation which she leaves at home? I say that to the court readily, preparing my client for the idea of incarceration. I don't think for a second that it wasn't something that crossed our mind or her mind, Mr. Swanson's mind. I just ask if there's a way to structure that so that it isn't a complete, the water isn't completely cut off there. I think we could probably, I suppose, address both sides of what the court just said. Is there a way that the court could consider doing that so that these medical issues can be addressed, and obviously she would still pay the debt that you believe she owes to this society and this community?
Well, I don't want her to suffer medically. I haven't seen any paperwork that you've wanted. I'm not going to just do a flyby look at it now. So she's going to jail. We'll take a look at whatever paperwork you want to submit. Talk with jail administration, see if there's a way to get her the testing or whatever it is that she needs, figure out how urgent those sort of things are, and We'll make a decision from there, but today she's going to jail.
Do you agree with this decision? Comment your opinion, like the video, and subscribe for more real courtroom moments.